My name is Rebecca Michael. I'm the Advocacy Manager for the Independent Center, and I'm with
Daniel Radcliffe. Not Harry Potter, but the Benefits Coordinator at the Independent Center.
And this is the Independent Center podcast. And we are here with a veteran who's going to talk to us about how she got to the Independent Center along with her Vic coach. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Isabel Hicks, and I'm retired from the Army. Got 4 kids and married.
Oh, that one last child.
Well, he lives in Florida, so.
Not forgettable, but just not,
Present.
You don't see him every day, so gotcha. And then?
I'm Kim Howell, the current veteran coach for Isabel. She did start with Ashley when she first came on the program. So she's had the joy of having 2 people.
Nice.
And starting from the beginning.
Yep.
Seeing it all.
Yep.
We should totally not ask who's the best coach, but if you want to drop that during the whole conversation, you're welcome to do that. So let's get started. You said you were retired from the Army.
Yes.
So how many years did you spend in the Army?
I did 2.5 years. I broke my back in basic, so the 2.5 years was more so pushing through.
Yeah, I bet.
I wanted to retire as a 20-year retiree, but
right,
that wasn't in the cards for me.
Yeah, life happened, unfortunately.
How did you break your back? We were just about to speed by that.
Yeah, I was like, and moving on, but he's like, no. How did that happen?
How did that happen?
It was a training accident in basic. You got the combat obstacle courses and whatnot, and there's one obstacle, it has a log and it rolls back and forth and you're supposed to judge the distance and jump over it. I didn't quite clear it. It hit me like directly in my hip area, and
oh wow.
I have a compression fracture and a laundry list of other things that go with that because of just domino effect.
Yeah.
Permanent bursitis in my hips.
So one accident has kind of created some other life-altering disabilities.
Most of my stuff comes from the nerve damage.
Oh, okay.
I have bulging disc compressing on my nerve sac on the lower part of my back.
Sure.
And so my issues range from my legs don't always work. Sometimes I'm paraplegic. I don't have any function from the waist down.
Oh, okay.
Ranging all the way to the nerve damage has caused my heart to erode, and it no longer functions the way it needs to function.
Sure.
Sometimes it even stops.
Oh, wow.
So that's just because nothing is getting the signals that they need to work correctly anymore.
Gotcha. And that all started with the back injury? The breaking? Wow. Who would have thought?
Not I, said the cat.
Yeah, no kidding.
So the whole disorder itself, with all the nerve damage and whatnot, is called dysautonomia.
Dysautonomia. I'm not going to ask you to spell that. But, okay. So, after the 2.5 years in the military, what was your next goal?
Trying to get a job.
Sure.
I went 5 years after I got out trying to get a job and couldn't get hired anywhere. So I was unemployed for 5 years, just trying to get any kind of job.
Sure.
And nothing. The same with my husband, actually. And then when we got here, applying. I did a few call center places, but that really was hard with my PTSD.
Sure.
Small area with a lot of people, loud.
And I'm sure with the headphones,
Yeah.
probably didn't help either. Yeah.
It was not easy. And pretty much I lost every job because of my PTSD.
Sure.
I would have to leave because I couldn't handle it anymore, and I would have a doctor's note, but it didn't matter. I lost my job.
Sure.
I've lost my job because of my heart. Being carried away in an ambulance because my heart started acting up at work, and coming back the next day to no job.
Yeah. I'm sure that probably scared a lot of people too. Yeah.
And then, I went to school. I got an associate's degree in business management with an emphasis in accounting. I have literally never been able to use it.
A numbers person.
Yeah. I show up, to my interviews. I have a cane, and, that's pretty much obvious. No.
That's unfortunate.
The one job I did get was the job I went to without a cane. And
Really?
I kept that one for 2 years. I worked at Domino's.
Wow.
I forced myself to walk without my cane. You know, it caused a lot more problems.
Sure.
But, you know, I got the job done. I worked at 3 different Domino's. I worked at a pet shop as well that was next to one of the Domino's at night. And it was all just to keep my family afloat because we couldn't get any quality jobs because of disabilities and other issues.
Sure.
Even as a veteran, just to our listeners, if you are an employer and you have the power to hire individuals with disabilities, especially our veterans with disabilities, please give opportunities.
Yes.
And usually you will find that they will perform at a level that you would like or even above and beyond.
Like no other. Mm-hmm.
Right. And we really need to support our vets. Just hearing you tell your story, like, I can understand an individual with a disability, and I get it. You know, some people are afraid to hire individuals with disabilities. But man, come on, guys. Like,
you're
we
a
got to
veteran,
do better. Yeah.
You have a disability.
Yeah.
You have an associate's degree.
Right. You're a mother.
Yeah. I mean,
You know?
the amount of skills that you have, I mean, an employer's got to find a way to give you an opportunity. So that's just a little disheartening. But
Yeah. I just wanted to put that out there.
yeah.
Well, something employers don't always know about too is the VA will supply necessary items to make a job
Right.
capable for that person, for that
Yeah.
specific disability, so that they can work at a normal rate a normal person would.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of employers don't even realize that that's a option.
Right.
Yeah.
And so going through all of this trial and error, just trying to find your place in, I guess, the civilian world after your service. When were you introduced to the Vic program?
I was introduced probably, I would say, mid 2016. I went to the Independence Center for something else, and I came back with that information, which was awesome. And at first it was just kind of feeling around because I did apply for the VA's caregiver program, but I was denied because my disabilities are considered chronic illness in rather than a true disability. So I was denied for the VA caregiver program, and that's when I was bumped to the Independence Center.
Okay.
And so that's where I got my second chance, and I started working with Ashley, and I started in January of 2017. I quit working in the middle of 2016. Well, I didn't quit working. I was told no longer able to be working.
Oh, gotcha.
That's when my heart started stopping.
Okay.
And they're all like, you know what? You can't drive. You can't work. You can't be alone. It's all off the table. No more chances.
Done.
And so, you know, at that time, it's like, oh my goodness, I went from working 4 jobs to no jobs. My husband doesn't have a job because he was staying at home watching the kids while I was working 4 jobs.
He was doing the other part of this work. Yeah.
And then, you know, I'm freaking out. It's like, oh, we have no money.
Yeah. And that's it's a scary thought.
It is.
You know,
And so, when you were introduced to the Vic program and then started working with Ashley, what was it like to be able to have the choice of who's my caregiver and I'm in charge of this work? What did that feel like?
it was interesting. I'd never had anything like that before. You know, I was under the assumption of everybody else, the only place you get care is if you're in a facility getting care.
Yeah.
There's nothing really outside of that, or if you're like really, really bad and they send a nurse to your house.
Right.
And that's, you know, end of life care type stuff.
Right.
And so it was neat to find a program, especially, you know, since my husband can't work, I require 24 hours of monitoring because my heart could stop anytime.
Right.
And him not being able to work even after I was no longer able to work, that just made things even harder. And having him be able to be compensated for at least some of it
Right.
is helpful because, you know, we do have kids, we have a family, and now my mom and dad actually live with me too.
Yeah.
And so we have a household of 7 at the
Oh,
moment.
wow.
It's
And
always
that doesn't-
Full house.
fun house.
Yeah.
And that doesn't include my son that lives in Florida, so.
So your husband is your caregiver.
Yes.
Oh, very cool.
Awesome. And he was able to do that through the Vic program or through the IC and Medicaid long-term care.
He's through the Vic.
The big
Awesome.
Right now we're strictly through Vic.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is really cool. It's probably interesting, like, if you don't make sure that my heart continues to beat, you'll be fired. is
Yeah.
probably a conversation you probably have regularly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in charge. Don't forget that.
Yeah, we have funny conversations. We're like, they're coming to check on you to make sure you haven't killed me yet.
It's like, what? Of course I'm not going to kill you, but you can't control your heart, and things happen. Yeah.
But
So
I've always come back though, so
that's
Nice.
that's
probably-
good.
I know on a normal day it's constantly stopping through just I can usually stay conscious up to around 8 to 10 seconds
Sure.
without a heartbeat, and then but after that I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
But I've gone out for complete no heartbeat for 10 seconds or more, probably about 8
Wow.
to 10 times now since 2016.
How does that?
And I don't have a pacemaker
Oh my
because I
God.
don't qualify for a pacemaker yet.
Really? Wow.
You don't that's a whole nother conversation.
We're not even going to
We
go
should
down that
talk.
rat hole because we will be there for a while.
Right.
Wow. So I don't know if you can even describe what that feels like to our listeners, like not being able to be aware that your heart stopped.
Well, during a normal time like right now, I tend not to notice it. It's when I'm hooked up to monitors and I hear the pauses because there's no heart activity going on.
That would be nerve-wracking.
It's really freaky. It happens every time I'm getting ready for surgery because I have to wait in the waiting area for an hour, and then you just every
Yeah.
Wow.
And you're like, was that me? Or is the machine not functioning right? Yeah.
Or I've been to the hospital before, and they'll wait until I'm in a room to take blood because, I'm high risk for death. So they'll wait till they're around cardiac equipment. But then once I get in the room and they hook me up, then it all starts yelling because I'm dying.
Yeah. No
Wow.
kidding. And you're just sitting like, oh, okay. It hasn't caught up with my brain yet. So when you started with the Vic program, what were your goals?
Try to find some sort of normality in my new life.
Yeah. And that can be a challenge when you're faced with working for 4 jobs and then moving into not being allowed
Oh yeah.
because you could die because of it. That's
There's a lot of people with chronic illness that go through a grief stage because your whole life has been turned upside down.
Yeah.
In high school, I was a wrestler, I was a football player, I was a cheerleader, I did FFA, I played the tuba and band.
right.
I went into the Army, I was combatives champion. They used me, to rough up the ones who weren't paying attention and get in line. And, then I break my back and, I lose everything. I can,
It's like a light switch. The lights just went off.
some days I can't walk.
Yeah.
Some days my husband literally has to carry me to toilet me.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, it turns your whole world upside down. You don't know what to do anymore.
Yeah.
Have you found any? I guess I would call it a silver lining. Have you found a silver lining to everything that you've been through? Have you found a positive point from it?
Yeah, I am in quite a few support groups, and I make a lot of friends. I do my own little kind of advocacy, which isn't necessarily like a big I'm in your face advocacy, but I do a lot of one-on-one talks with people in similar issues to try and help them, get the help they need.
Mhm.
Sure.
I have a lot of resources. I have a filing cabinet full of resources that, if anybody ever comes to me for help, it's like, oh, here's here's this number, call this person, let me call up some people, we'll get you some stuff. And
Nice.
I like being able to do that. I'd like to do more, but I know right now I'm just not in a place to do more. But I try to just, stay within my limits, but still be able to be out there.
Contribute.
And
Yeah.
it's kind of funny because, I'll go out there into the community and go to appointments and whatnot, and I'll meet people who follow me on these social media outlets.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my God,
It's you!
It's you!
In real life.
Just 2 days ago, I met with someone out of one of my groups for Ehlers-Danlos. She was living in California, and we've been talking for about 1.5 years, and she just barely finally got to move here to Colorado where she can get more benefits and help.
Sure.
And she's like, I'm so excited I finally get to meet you in person.
Cool.
And it's kind of a trip for my parents because they haven't been in a world with me like this before. So, you know, at first they were taking me to a lot of appointments, and this would happen. A lot of people would come up to me and start talking to me, and like, you know, this is the first time they're meeting me in person, and it's a new experience for them. And it's kind of funny though. I don't feel like I'm very well known, but I am, and it's kind of surreal when you meet people who've been, you know, following you for so long
or been impacted by what you've chronicled. So what is it like to work with the Vic coaches and the process and the program of Vic?
I truthfully like it better than the VA program, or how I feel I would like the VA program, because I know that they're more government and streamlined. Whereas, you know, with the Vic program, I get one-on-one with Kim. I have her phone number. I can text her any questions I have. She can give me any help and answers I need.
Sure.
You know, I have someone I can contact, someone physical, someone I can see, and then I see her every month at my house too, you know. We've gotten to the point where, you know, I don't feel I have to clean my house every time she shows up.
Kim's like, you know what? I don't need everything sparkling.
I'm good if I show up and she's still in pajamas and she just couldn't do. I mean, that's part of what we talked about a little bit earlier too. Is, you know, we meet the veterans where they're at. If you don't want to get dressed that day because you physically can't, then great. You know, fine with me.
Do you?
You know? So we're good.
It's a beautiful thing. I'm just in awe that the sense of I guess overcoming and the feeling of making it through, to hear you say that at any minute your heart can stop, and then on the other hand hear you say, I want to help other people. I want to make sure that other people have resources and other people are well taken care of. That is a beautiful thing, and we need more people like that in this world. We definitely do. And thank you for that. Truly.
And that's one thing I've always noticed about Isabel in the last year, 2 years, is like, she is a great advocate for herself. You know, she will come to me and ask questions, but I have a feeling some of the questions are just, am I on the right track? Like, she already knows where she needs to go and what she needs to do. It's just, she just needs that little bump of, let's do this.
Or confidence.
And
if, am I thinking about this properly? And
and if we run into an issue and I need something that, you know, something's missing at the VA, I mean, she's great. It'll be done in an hour or two. We'll work to get it done, and it's some veterans it takes days. I don't have to worry about that with her. If we need something and she knows that it's important, we get it done.
It really is coming alongside and working with versus working for. Being a partnership.
I find I do more work now that I don't work than I did when I do work. Just maintaining all of the checks and balances. There's a lot of paperwork.
At times
it helps that I did my accounting degree, because then, you know, I can
no kidding. Budget. I bet budget is like super simple for you.
I do a big budget like once a month, and because I have a lot of brain injuries too, just, you know, when I do, you know, don't have a heartbeat, you know, I get no blood to my brain for a long time. And the same thing happens with the dysautonomia. I'll have syncopal episodes where I pass out, and, you know, you don't know where you're gonna land. I've hit my head on many different things. A lot of TBIs. So I'm not always cognitive. I don't always have a good working mind. So I do it on a good day, and then that way I have it for the rest of the month, and it's already done.
That's great.
And I can just check it off.
Nice. That's great. Really cool. Well, thank you guys for coming in and talking to us. I appreciate it. Daniel and I enjoy having these conversations because we learn so much.
Yes, definitely.
So, how do we find out about the Vic program, Kim?
Either go into the Independence Center. There are brochures on that first wall. If you can't find them or need access or help finding them, just ask anybody at the front desk. They can get one. If Marco with Peer Support is in the building next door, he'll be happy to come down and talk to you.
Excellent.
And another suggestion with that, I would take a pamphlet to your VA doctor, because of the fact that a lot of the VA doctors either don't know or pretend they don't know about the program.
Good recommendation.
So if you have the information right in front, it's going to be easier to deal and navigate.
Would you like to share your social media information?
Yeah.
I don't have anything really specific. I just use my own Facebook. Like I said, I do advocacy, but I do it in my own little bubble.
Sure.
So I don't really have any social media outlet, but I would like to start eventually a YouTube channel. That speaks about different resources and benefits and disabilities and advocacy.
Well, when you start it,
We'll come
stop
back.
here, and we will talk about it, and we'll be able to provide that resource out to others that
Sounds good.
are exploring the opportunity. So, just for those who are curious about our website, it's www.theindependencenter.org. Our office is at 729 South Tejon in Colorado Springs, and then our phone number is
719-471-8181.
and then just ask to be connected to the Vic program, and you'll get connected to Marco, and he'll go from there with you. And if you have any interest in coming to talk to any of our vets, you just let Marco know, and he'll be able to connect you, and perhaps maybe have you come into a support group and get to know some of you on if you're interested in what this program looks like.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if our listeners are, well, not just our listeners, if you're new and you're looking to find our podcast, you could go into the Podomatic app and find us under Real Empowerment, or you can follow us on YouTube. Please like and subscribe. And that's YouTube, and our page name is Real Empowerment.
Yep. Thanks so much, guys.
Thanks.
We appreciate it.